Nina, thank you so much for saying yes to this interview. It's my pleasure interviewing you today. So I would say we all know you, right? Because we train together and we compete together. And then we've seen your journey from the point A to from where you've been before and to where you are now. And so what I want to do today is just you sharing that experience with us, and then just telling us how was it in general, and just basically telling us how was it like. But first of all, I want you to introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, and how long have you been in Desert Barbell for?
So my name is Nina. I'm from Germany. I've been in Dubai since 13 years now.
Yeah.
I'm originally a lawyer, but I'm not working in that field anymore. I did a lot of other things. In the moment, I'm staying at home and taking care of a lot of management things in Germany.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, so I'm a M2 lifter if you're into the powerlifting categories.
Yeah.
And I've been training at Desert Barbell since almost 3 years in June.
3 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So tell us, how did you find us? What happened?
I have to go back a little bit because basically before I turned 40, I was like, I really want to change something. And I know everything. I had gained a lot of weight. I didn't do a lot of sports, and I knew everything. And I made this pact with myself.
Yeah.
If I don't change until I'm 40, I will accept that I'm like this, and I'm not getting into sports.
Yeah.
I changed when I was 41, so obviously that pact didn't work out that well with me. But at the end, it worked out better.
Yeah.
And I started just with general strength and conditioning classes. And I really enjoyed getting into the whole training, exercising again. And at one point, my son Max, who also trained here, wanted to get into Olympic weightlifting and powerlifting. And I had followed someone on Instagram and had seen that at that time, Ine did Olympic weightlifting classes for women only in the evening. And I was thinking a little bit of joining, but I was still very afraid of going to gyms because I was like, oh, what will they think? I'm already older and may not look the way they think you should look when you come.
So you had the whole doubts.
But then when Max was saying like, I really would like to get into this powerlifting and maybe Olympic weightlifting, I was like, okay, I think I know the gym, let's go there.
Yeah.
So we came here. And I was still like, when we came to Alcoaz and I was like in this warehouse, I was like, oh my God. I just hope I made the right decision. Again, coming from my like intimidation towards like the gym.
So I just want to stop you here. Like, what is it that, because you said like, oh my God, like, what is that feeling that you have experienced? Like, why did you have that, feeling of being scared?
I don't know, because maybe because in Germany powerlifting is not, at least not in my age group, a thing. So there are just a few powerlifters. It's not really in the television or whatever. It's more like younger people are doing it, but it's not really well known in my age group. And it has a certain taste to it sometimes. And I was like, I had this image in my head. So it's in a warehouse, and I know that a lot of gyms here are in the warehouse. It didn't really make any sense, but it was like, oh, and there will be only these big guys, and they will be lifting and throwing weights around. And they will think, what does she want here? And at that time, Max was also he hadn't trained, not properly trained in a long while. So it was like, what are we even doing here? So we came in. And I don't know who was at reception, but everybody was very friendly. And then we said, okay, Max wants to train, and then Dan came out of the office. And I thought at that moment, not knowing Dan, like, oh, because Dan, he's very tall. Max is also tall, but like very, at that time was very slim. I was like, oh my God, how is that going to work out? But they clicked immediately, and they had a lot of fun. They trained together. Even when Max moved back to Germany for university, they did the online training. And Max always tried to convince me to come to the gym here. And I was like, why? So I know it's a nice place, but again, they will think, what is she doing here? What does she want? And I was at a point where I like had done a lot of strength and conditioning. My previous personal trainer left Dubai, and I was a little bit like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then Max convinced me to talk to Dan.
Yeah.
And we talked to Dan the day they closed gyms because of COVID. And I was like,
yeah.
So and then again, I did as most of us did, all these online body weight things at home just to do something. And at one point I was like, I don't want to see a burpee anymore. I don't want to see push-ups anymore because I've done them so often. I need a change on that. And then when the gyms opened, I was against. Max was the first one here, like more or less. And then he said, come with me. And I was like, no. But then Dan and he talked, and Dan invited me in.
Okay, cool.
And then we had our first session.
Dan know how to make sales,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. And he got me in, and we had we were sitting in this room and we were talking, and he was like, "What do you really want?" I just want to give it a try because Max said to me, "You are strong and you have endurance. I think you will enjoy it." I have no idea, but let's give it a try.
So obviously Max had a huge impact on you being here, but did you have any goals in your head, like, oh, I want to come to Desert Barbell? Obviously I don't know what to expect. I like strength training, but did you have anything in particular in your head that you wanted to achieve?
No, I was just really, I thought, okay, I enjoy, so in my sessions I had already done deadlift, squat, bench, whatever, and I was like, perhaps it would be nice to focus a little bit more on these movements, see if I'm really doing them correct, and just see what happens. So if and I realized I'm not very good at training on my own in the gym all the time. So now I train twice with Dan and twice on my own, but if I'm just following a program, it's harder for me, not because I'm not that much committed, but I really like also the talk and the what you get out of it when you are actually training with a personal trainer.
And how was that first session with Dan?
It was really good. Surprisingly, I wasn't even, so I thought the whole time, I guess I'm really bad at everything and I'm not very strong, and I'm and it wasn't even that bad. So, we had basically the most work we had to do was on the setup on the bench because I didn't know about the arch and everything, and of course also with deadlift and squat we had to tweak a little bit, but I always had done high bar squats, and then we moved it to low bar squats. So I was really enjoying it, and that's why at the end I said, okay, let's do it and see what happens. But against the no goal in my head, just
okay, cool. Just try it.
Just try it.
Yeah. And then when did you have that switch, which was telling you, this is exactly what I do for the rest of my life?
I think there were a few points. One day I was squatting on my own and Pat came over and I was like, oh my god, he's now telling me what I'm doing wrong. And he just came to tell me that my setup was really good. And because still in my head I had this whole I'm doing it wrong, I don't know what I'm doing. And that was one thing. And then I remember when I benched for the first time 60 kgs and everybody was like, oh wow, that was really, because it was not long after I started training with them. And I realized, oh, I am quite good at it. And it really, and I enjoyed seeing the progress because you get stronger, you see it with the lifts you are doing. And I think the last point was when Dan convinced me to try my first power meet, because I had said, yes, I might want to compete, but he told me he could clearly see that it was a no, but he got me he knew what to say. He knew what to say, and he got me into agreeing. And of course I regretted at the moment I said yes, but I didn't. I did it, and when I came here, at that time I knew just a few people who trained at the same time with me, and I was more nervous about the other people at the power meet than about the power meet, because I was like, oh my god, again this how will they be, what will they think. I didn't even think about how will my lifts be. It was more the whole thing around. But then when I came, everybody was so friendly, we talked and it was fun. And then I was like, oh, that is really this whole lifting and this community, this is what I really like, and where I want to be part of it.
Okay, great. Oh, that's nice. So how long are you training with them for?
2.5 years. So in June it's 3 years.
Yeah. And then what would like the things that you would highlight that you achieved so far training with them?
I got stronger in all my lifts, and I did my first international competition in December, which I never expected. And because again of me saying, I don't really think that I want to compete, and now really enjoying competing. But that, like, going to the international platform, and yes, okay, it was in Dubai, and it was like a soft, I would say it was a soft first international competition, because we had the whole Desert Barbell team and the supporting crew and everything, so we didn't have to travel. It was like a light first step onto the international platform. But this whole experience, like training to it and having all the support and getting to know other international athletes was really really amazing.
I mean, because what I was thinking about, it's like you walking into a Desert Barbell to have a PT, and then you end up being an international platform. Like, it's just amazing. I mean, like, how does it even feel to have that?
It felt really unreal. So I came back from a summer of not really training a lot, because I was traveling, I was doing a lot of things in Germany. And my first session, Dan was saying, by the way, we are like throwing your name into the nomination list for the Asians. And I thought it was a joke. Okay. And I said, yeah, of course. And then he turned around and he said, Pat, she said, yes. And I said, wait.
Are you serious, guys?
Are you serious? And they went, they you showed your numbers to the federation, and they think your numbers are really great, so why not? And I was like, okay, I didn't even ask where it would be and when. So I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And then I realized, I might have to travel, or what are we talking about? So and then now they told me it will be here in Dubai and when, and I was like, but still, I think to the day it really felt unreal. So even when I was there, I was like expecting someone to tell me, what are you doing here? Because it was like never in my imagination was I thinking about going to an international competition.
But then obviously it's like it was a big thing for you, right? And you said it's like it felt unreal and stuff. I just want you to kind of highlight, like, because you've broken some records, So I think you broke the deadlift and
broke deadlift and bench and total.
So it's just amazing. But I know that it wasn't easy, right? The prep, it wasn't.
No.
So it was some kind of like issues and problems that you faced. So just talk about that.
So I came back from the summer, and all of a sudden I couldn't squat anymore. So I couldn't get that at all, and I couldn't even get like to parallel. And I was like, how am I going to do that? Because you have to get at least one squat in, and I wasn't even like getting 2 white lights. It was really like, no. And then I was like getting very nervous, because I thought, oh my God, I don't want to go to this competition and be the one who like he's not hitting the depths, and it's like out of the competition. And I did so, but then again it helped because to have a coach, because Dan was really like, trust the process, we will get there, we need the depths on the day of the comp, we don't need it now, so we have to work on it. And that's what we did. So I went to a lot of physio chiropractic sessions, because just my knees were very tight, my hips were very tight, and it was just like I needed to do a lot of mobility, a lot of stretching, a lot of painful adjustments, and I did that. So and I also went into the competition knowing that I was far away from my personal best of the squats. So we really had to lower the weights, we had to make sure to find the weight that I at least get one squat in. And that made the whole preparation even more like a little bit scary because I had always this like in my head, I'm not as strong, but everybody will be like disappointed because they nominated me based on the numbers of my last on the numbers of my last competition, and now and it was only the squat, so bench and deadlift were not affected, but I had this in my head that I was like I was 32.5 kgs away from my personal best, and I was like, what is this? But again, it's just, I think it's what you have to learn. These things happen, and I'm still far away from my personal best at squats, but I'm just working on it. So it's and I went and I got my first squat. I got my second, and I missed the squat Asian record because I went so low that I didn't come up. So that was like, because I didn't want to miss it because of not hitting depth, and then all of a sudden I don't know why, but all of a sudden I was able to get really low, and then I lost the tension, and then. But it's okay. So it's like,
but it's experience, right? Yeah. So like we learn from mistakes that we do in the previous, and then we just Oh, that's great. But like in terms of like the whole experience, you being in Desert Barbell, like what do you think kept you going? Because like I just keep hearing from a lot of people, it's like, oh, they start training and they give up, and they find like the training is too expensive, they don't have a time, or the kid is bothering me at home, I can't manage all of the things. Like, what do you think like has helped you to be consistent and then start doing PT and then breaking the records? This is really interesting to hear.
I had this discussion already, like before I came to do Desert Barbell, with a lot of people regarding PT sessions. Yes, it is more expensive than a normal gym membership, but I see it from my side, it's an investment in my health and also in my like future, because I want to be able to like carry things around, walk around, and be active as long as possible. And for me, and I was like, when I started training, I saw the results, I was very afraid of going back to where I was before, because that had happened so many times. I had started something and then I fell off the wagon, I didn't do it anymore, and I was like, I saw the results, I had fun, and I was still in my head, I was like, I don't want to come to the point where I all of a sudden don't go anymore. And at that time, when I started, I had a full-time job, Max was still here in school, so I had to juggle a lot of things. But I always booked my next session in, even if at that time I wasn't training with a personal trainer, but I was going to a gym where they had gym sessions, and I always booked myself in. So, and I had it in my calendar, so like that's my time where I go to the gym. And that really, even when I traveled, before I traveled, I had myself booked in already for the week when I came back, because I knew how I usually am. So I come back, I'm like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh, then I go next week. So and then it's already a week, and then it's easy to not go back. Have excuses. So I was always like booking myself in, and here it's a little bit the same. When I'm not like worried to fall back again to like these old habits, but I really enjoy coming here. So it's like when I travel, I tell Dan I'm away, but I'm back on Monday, and on Tuesday we have our session. And sometimes he's saying, we can also start another day. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm like, I just want to come here and do the session because I really enjoy being here.
So what makes it enjoyable?
It's the community, I think. It's like whenever I come in, there's someone to talk to, and there's always someone to have a laugh with, and to talk about experience with training, if something is not going well or if something is going very well. But there's always someone you can talk to and to have fun with, and I made a lot of friends. So, and I think like it's always like, we always say it's a little bit like our second home. And that's why I still enjoy being here, and I am still like learn so much from the sessions with Dan when he explains to me why this didn't work or why I did something wrong or whatever. It's just like that's really helpful.
Yeah, I just want to highlight this part. Just you see, like from the beginning when you said, I have no idea where I'm going to, like, where is this place, where is this guy lifting weights here, and then you see how like this switch happened. Like now 2.5 years you're here, and like you actually enjoy coming here, which is like, it's a huge change, right? Nice. And then what is it? So obviously there's a lot of stuff that you have achieved. So what are your goals right now? Like, what is it that you're working on?
I'm working on getting back on the squat. Yeah. So that is really like, I want to get the squat strength back, because the strength in the legs is there. Deadlift is going very well. Bench is going very well. And I know there's always one lift, which is in your blog or whatever, not really progressing that well at the others, which is, I guess, more or less normal. But I really would like to get back to be very confident with my squats, and not like always thinking like, I really hope I will hit depths and I will go well and I will come up and whatever. And then it's like, okay, but that's not completely in my hand. But I got really like a little bit very excited about this international competitions, and I'd really bugged me a little bit that I didn't get the squat record, and I'm like, no, I have the records, I have to defend them, and I have to set a new one. So, but
I'll get you later.
I'm coming back. So I would love to go to another competition.
Nice.
So I'm doing the power meet here, which is also always very nice, and I'm also happy just doing these. But if I get the chance to go to another international or national competition somewhere else, that would be amazing.
What do you think? Well, like, what do you think drives you to go to the competition? Because, like, I have a client who same beginner as you that time when they're walking into a gym, they don't know what's going on, they're really scared, and then when I kind of say, same as Dan told you, like, Nina, let's compete, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure this is gonna happen. So, like, what is it that drives you to do it?
I think it's not to compete against other people, because that's not what it's about, even though sometimes it's hard to not think, oh my god, this person is so much stronger than me, and then to realize we all have different experiences. Some of you started a lot earlier than me, and like a lot younger and whatever, and but I have the feeling when I go to the competition, I get more out of the lift, so I put even more effort in, because it's a whole setup. It's adrenaline. It's not that I'm not putting the effort in when I'm in the session, but like to see like what can I really do and how heavy can I go with the lifts. That happens at the comp, I think, because it's the whole setup, and also the whole support from other lifters, from the other coaches, from whoever is there. That's really what I really enjoy, and what pushes me a little bit more to give the little bit extra. And if you would have asked me a few years back, I would always have said I'm not competitive. And my previous personal trainer always said you are very competitive. And I think I am, but like more like I want to get better. So, and I want to compete against myself and see could I improve from my last competition. So.
Nice, really nice. Awesome. So what is the plan?
What is the plan?
What's the plan now in Desert Barbell? Like 2.5 years. What are we gonna do in the next year?
Really, work on the squat. I have my eyes on the benching 75, so that's something what's in my head, and I hope I'll be able to do that. Also, like increasing my deadlift, and I would really love to get a little bit more involved in the community. And it's hard. I'm not a personal trainer, I know, but but there's some stuff that you can do. Whenever I talk with other, especially women, and I tell them what I'm doing, they're like, oh yeah, you have done this all your life. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So, not really. So, but then they, you have been active all your life. And I'm like, no, I'm up and down. So there were periods I was, periods I wasn't, but it's not like I had a athletic life from when I was little. And then I get some of them thinking like, oh, if you just started when you were 40, just getting back into exercising and now training, perhaps I can also do that. And I would really love to be able to inspire or get some other woman to come to Desert Barbell and try like strength training, powerlifting, whatever, and give it a try.
Yeah.
And even if it's not for them, they can still like try something else. But they just come in and talk to me or to other women who are here. And that is also the reason why Tracy and I created our new Instagram.
Yes, so tell us about that. I'm really interested to hear about this.
Our new Instagram account, which is Barbell Master Lifters.
Yeah.
Because we were, Tracy's also someone who started later with powerlifting, and we know all these struggles you have. She has her kids are younger, mine is at university. So, but we know the time struggle, the stress you have, also the struggle of getting into the gym, of starting something new, of feeling not fitting in. So because we always, when we talk about it, she said she was hiding at the beginning in the combo rack in the corner, like nobody can see me. I'm not even here. Yeah? And I was a little bit the same when Max convinced me a few times to come and train with him before I started to train with Dan, and I was always like doing the same thing Max was doing, because I was like, then at least I can't make a mistake, because we are always together, and that's why we created this Instagram account, to show people yes, it's not always easy, but it's doable, and give yourself a little push and try it. And if you want to engage with us, have questions, you can do that. And we are happy also to be here when someone comes in and says, okay, I have my first session or whatever, and I'm a little bit worried. I'm happy to be here and just be the support act or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And because it really helped me to get more confident also outside of the gym, and to think more about health in general, nutrition, whatever, and that affected the whole family. And I would be very happy if at least one or two other ladies get inspired and come and try powerlifting or strength training.
Yeah, nice. You mentioned that like the stuff within the family has changed. Yeah. So I just want you to talk about like what can actually change within your life. Okay, before doing powerlifting, this is the way it was, and then what kind of changes have you noticed in your lifestyle after doing powerlifting in general?
The newest thing I noticed was like Max and I had to move his furniture 5 years ago, and we really struggled. So that was before we both started lifting. We both were active and trained, but we didn't do powerlifting or anything. And now we had in end of January, we had to move the same furniture again. It was still heavy, but it was a lot easier to handle. And we were joking a lot, because sometimes we were like just doing squats with the weights. That is one thing. I always got interested in nutrition. But I even more so by doing powerlifting, because it's like I really wanted to know, what do I need to eat, or do I need to eat before I train, and when do I have the carbs, and carbs are always, especially for ladies, the big bad evil. So and even for me it was like, oh my god, I can't eat that many carbs, but I got to the point where I changed that. And I think, like, because for example my husband has a very stressful job, he can't train that much, but over the time I got him to like also train. He's not doing powerlifting, but he's doing sessions with a personal trainer now. And
nice. So you inspired one person already.
And I also like Yeah, and I inspired another one. I brought Melanie in.
But
it's like no, but it really and without me saying anything. Even though my husband is not training here, but he saw like how I changed. And we go skiing at least once a year, and came to the point where I didn't enjoy skiing so much anymore because I didn't have the strength in my legs. And I even thought about like, okay, maybe I'm too old and I'm just like not doing it anymore. But now I'm back to, I'm even better than I was before I started training, or before I lost the strength and had these struggles with skiing. And without me telling my husband like go to a gym or do this or do that, he just saw my changes, and I changed our nutrition because I'm cooking, so I changed his nutrition.
Yeah.
And I got him, that got him to like at least training once or twice a week, and now he's trying to get 3 sessions in. And I would love for him to come here, but it's just like time-wise and where his office is, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But at least I got him to do something, and without pushing him or giving him the idea that it was my idea. So it's more like it was his idea to do something.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. Like, well, I want to say that we are super proud for everything that you have achieved, and it's really nice to have you as a member here as well, because it's not just us helping you, but you helps us as well. So what I want you to do is just like, because obviously it's, as we said, it's a lot of women who are scared to come into the gym, and then they really feel like anxious coming in and stuff. What would you advise to them, or like what would be that one thing that you would highlight, like giving them as a point or the thing that they need to do right now in order for them to change things?
I would say, like, if you're talking about coming to Desert Barbell, book yourself in for like, even if it's just a talk, and if you are not comfortable of training with a male trainer, there are enough female trainers. Just mention that when you call in for an appointment, and just come in and get a feel, I would say. And if you're not like convinced, if you want to talk to someone who is not a trainer and who went through all these whole like struggles and the whole process, I'm always happy to talk to people about my experience.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is to do the first step. Like, book yourself in, come here, have a chat, have a look around, and have a first session. It's not as scary as it sounds. It is, because I also thought at the beginning, and then they will expect me to be perfect and do whatever, lift like crazy amount of weight. No, it will start very, very soft, just to see where you are. So give yourself the little push and come here and convince yourself that you can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Easy. Like,
it is.
You just making it first step to come in.
And I think making a commitment to yourself, like, that's why I come regularly. It's like, it might be a little bit more expensive if you get a PT session, but it is an investment in your health and into your future, and I think that's the best thing you can do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Nina.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you here. Yeah. And we see you on the gym floor.
Definitely.
And competition platform.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.